is Saturday, May 4th, and you are watching You Don't Watch Sports right here on the Feo Grande YouTube network. I am Bill Smith, and I am joined, as always, by the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande himself, Omari Ellis. Omari, how was your sports week, my friend?
There was some sadness, but there's some happiness because the Battle Hawks have, since that week one loss that we had, four straight, looking to make it five
Good
today.
call. Good call.
Call is law, motherfuckers. Y'all thought it was weird because Justin Tucker Jr. hit like 8 field goals on us? Nah, that's not every team's got a Justin Tucker Jr. The rest of y'all, I don't know. I'm
You
talking
got to
shit.
put that in the
Anyway,
end zone.
good sports week.
All right. Well, stay tuned for more UFL talk, like
As the
playoff
season
time.
goes, yeah.
But because here on You Don't Watch Sports, we only cover 3 topics. Just a little bit of sports information to sprinkle into your conversation, as we're the guiding light to see that is sports talk. Now we're going to hit you 3 topics, nice general ones, just to get you into your sports week. Going in, we got 2 different playoffs going on, Omar, and we're going to talk about the NBA first. NBA playoffs going on. We got a lot of storylines going on. We're pretty much into the second round. Still have the Boston Miami series left to decide, although or I'm sorry, the Cleveland Orlando series left to decide, tied 3-3. They will be playing on Sunday midday to finish that one. But otherwise, we have the second round of the playoffs locked up. What are you thinking? What are your storylines coming out of it so far? Who you think's
Biggest storyline coming out of the playoffs right now is, end of an era. No KD, no Steph, no Bron round two. That's crazy. So someone's got to step up now in this young generation. Who's going to be the new face of the league? Folks are saying it's Anthony Edwards, but he's going to get to prove that against the Nuggets in their series. That should be a big one to watch. Obviously, you got Thunder Mavericks. Shea Gildress and the boys are still coming through, still the 1 seed, still being ignored by everybody. Well, they got to go against Luka and Kyrie, where once again, people are going to be talking about Luka and Kyrie more than them. Will the Thunder be the least or the most disrespected team to win a championship in recent history? Who knows? Celtics, yeah. Celtics are the 1 seed over there. They beat the Heat. What else is new? Fuck the Celtics. I'm hoping the Cavaliers versus Magic come out. I don't have any faith that either of them beat the Celtics. Meanwhile, Pacers and Knicks, another surprise. The New York Knicks are coming out here, and they are coming out here to play this playoff series. They eliminated Joel Embiid and the 76ers 4-2. And they faced the Pacers, with I believe Halliburton is their main guy on the Pacers.
Yep.
And that should be a good series as well.
That's one of my big stories coming out of these playoffs, no matter what happens, kind of at this point, is the failure that happened in Milwaukee with our injuries to our big 2 there is going to be, I feel like, a big story going forward for them. But
They gave
yeah,
up a lot for Dame, right?
yes, yes. Well, yeah, you'd have to
Yeah.
give up a good amount for a Damian Lillard. But they're there for a while. So, but let's see if these injuries, they can come back and have a better season.
Not a good look for Doc Rivers, by the
I
way.
agree with you, despite the fuck you towards them, that the Celtics look like they have I mean, let's be frank, they're gonna it's something's gonna have to happen for them to be stopped to move on to at least the Eastern Conference Finals at this point.
Because they're there
Uh,
every year.
I mean, yeah, and then if you're talking about seeing a Boston Celtics, New York Knicks Eastern Conference Finals, sign me up for that. I'm interested to see that. But then also,
I
yes, I
like the
agree with you
level
on the
of the
Legends thing.
rivalry, but that's you know Patriots versus Cleveland Browns AFC Championship. Like I'm rooting for the Browns. Clearly, I'm gonna have to, but historically, we know how that turns out. So that's why I'm not looking forward to that. Uh
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, what do you think? Have your picks changed from what they were? Well, yes, I think they'd have to
Yes.
be because you had the Heat coming out of the East, right?
I had the Heat coming out of the East. I was hoping they could do it. Jimmy, not so himmy this playoff series.
Uh-huh.
But I also think he might have been injured. I think I heard that. I'll be honest. Like we said, we're casual, just like you guys. Um, so he might have been injured in that series. Yeah, he was, because they were talking about like how the hell y'all lose in Boston to the Heat. The Heat got an upset win early in the series, but yeah, no Jimmy. They got beat. It is what it is. So I guess coming out of the East, I don't like them, but they make the most sense to pick. Head pick would be Celtics, but screw it. I'm going hard. Let's go. Please.
Omari's a Knicks fan.
I am when it comes to them beating Boston. I'm a fan of anybody who beats the Boston teams for that playoff series. That's just how it is.
It's just how it is.
That's just how it is. And in the West, screw it. I want someone from the disrespect pool up at the top, the fucking Thunder or Mavericks. Two teams that people are just got that feel disrespected, whether it's Shea and the boys, with everyone saying they're the worst one seed ever, which is just stupid. They're a fucking one seed. Come on now. That said, they're going against the Mavericks with Luka Doncic, the guy who just outstats 90% of the league, or just does he just does so fucking well and just gets so ignored for the like MVP stuff every year. And so I want someone from them to come out. Whoever
Okay.
comes out of that series.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Right on, right on. All right, now we got a second playoff series going on right now. The NHL is going hot right now, Omari. We got a few of our second round matchups going on, but we still have a few decisions to have happen. The Dallas Stars and the Las Vegas Golden Knights are tied in their series 3-3, and they'll be playing tomorrow night to finish off that series. And then we also have the Boston Bruins facing the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight in their game to decide their series to go on to the second round. What are your stories coming out of here? Who are you looking for to win it all?
I don't really got a story for hockey. I'm gonna be honest with you,
Yep.
but the Blues are not in there. So I got to root for somebody. And as such, I'm going to go super casual with this one. I want the Golden Knights to beat the Stars, or whichever team of Golden Knights and Stars. I went to a high school with Stars at the mascot. I went to a college with the Golden Knights as a mascot. So
And you're
whoever,
picking your college over your high school.
well, whoever comes out, Golden Knights are the better team. Well, actually, they're a 4 seed this year. I thought they were like the returning champs or whatever. That's the main reason I said that. I thought they were coming out. But whoever comes out of that, because that's 3-3. And then I want I think the Knights are gonna do it because they've already won a championship, but if the Stars do it, cool. But I want it to be mascot team versus the Panthers in the finals because I live in Florida currently.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. You'd want to root for your home state team. For me, it has been I believe over 30 years since the country that created the sport won the ultimate trophy in the sport. And that is the country of Canada and the Stanley Cup. I would love to see Canada win the big one because we all know they would go absolutely nuts. And this is one of the better shots they've had in a long time. You've got the Canucks and the Oilers, unfortunately, facing each other in round two. So that's going to eliminate one of your Canada teams, no
but
matter
it
what.
but it guarantees one makes it to round three.
It guarantees that one makes it to the conference finals. That is absolutely true. And then over on the East, you have your Maple Leafs still in it if they can win tonight. Um,
Let's
I
go, Leafs.
I would love I would love to see a Canada Stanley Cup because, as you mentioned, our Blues are not in these playoffs this year. So I would love to see that happen. I have been to Toronto pretty recently in my life. I was lucky enough to get up there, and so I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Maple Leafs. But any Canada team, and I feel like it's a victory.
Yeah, and that's fine. I like rooting for underdogs as well. Hell, I want the Leafs to beat the Bruins. And,
Mhm.
if Canada does finally win it after 30 years, I'm not going to be too sad about that. However, as a guy with an American flag in the background of him, I feel like I'm obligated to just be like, it sucks, but USA. Woo!
Right, of course, of course. I would say I'm kind
But
of
no,
tired
I
of the
get you.
Golden Knights. Uh,
Okay.
the Avalanche won several years when we were younger, so I
Crunk,
just kind of think of them as someone that I
Crumpy
don't need to
makes
see
me not
win.
root for the
Of
Avalanche.
course, and then
It's
you have
also
the whole
why I don't
stand.
like the Nuggets.
You also have the whole Stan Kroenke angle of it. The Dallas Stars, something about them makes me feel like they took Brett Hall from us, and Brett Hall won his Stanley Cup
Oh,
with the Dallas Stars, and that's a little bit of a knife in my heart.
yeah,
Um,
I
and
didn't know
then
that.
and then shout out to the New York Rangers, one of the oldest professional hockey franchises, and they haven't won a big one in quite a long time. So I would say those are my other little stories coming out of this one.
Okay,
Uh,
cool. Yeah.
Topic number three, Omari.
All right.
We have WWE Backlash going on in Lyon, France, basically as we speak.
Oh my goodness.
Uh,
Lyon,
it,
France.
it is airing. I don't know if it's the pre-show or what, but in minutes here, my time, we are going to be starting on Peacock. And I wanted to run through this match card real quick and see if you had any predictions for me.
All right. All right. So we got this match card. I guess we'll start. Where you want to start? You want to start just with the big one? You want to start at the bottom with the ladies? Or not the bottom with the ladies. We'll start at the bottom with the men. Kevin Owens. I want to say, is that Jimmy Uso?
No, that's Kevin Owens
Oh,
and
that's
teaming.
Tamatonga.
Yeah, that's Kevin Owens teaming with Randy Orton to face Tamatonga and Solo Sikoa.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Uh,
what are you thinking here?
Bloodline.
Yeah, I think this is the match on the card that is rife with shenanigans. This is
Yes.
our shenanigans card. I don't know if it's Jacob Fatu making his first official WWE appearance.
That's right.
I don't
There's
know if
always
it's
another Oos.
there's always another oos. Um, I don't know if it's Roman Reigns making his first official appearance back after WrestleMania. Um, I don't know, but I feel like this is the match to have the shenanigans. And I agree with you. I'm going with Toma Tonga's first official WWE match. I feel like they're going to make him look very strong.
That and they have this new solo bloodline thing going on where they're more vicious and terrifying.
Yeah.
So they actually, I'm gonna say no shenanigans. They just shit on them.
Ooh.
Like they find a way because they're
That'd
trying to
be that'd
show.
be the most shocking.
Yeah. Like they maybe a little bit, maybe I don't know, who knows. But you get my point. They come out looking like holy shit. They just oh, this is Solo's era. Because that's what he's
Hmm.
trying to make it seem like. Because he's attacking everybody just I'm more vicious. I'm more angry. I kick out my own brother. I don't give a. You don't lose in the new bloodline. So they can't lose their first match with his whole
True.
you don't lose in my new
Losing
bloodline.
has consequences.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the women's tag team championship matches on the line, Omari. We have the Kabuki Warriors, Kairi Singh and Asuka versus Jade Cargill and the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair.
And
Um,
new.
uh, yeah, yeah.
And
I think
new.
the biggest question for this, Omari, is will it be a squash match or will it be a real match? Will they give them the belts at a squash?
They I mean, they didn't squash them at Mania, but they kind of squashed them at Mania. Not at any
As
point did
much
I
as
really
as
think
much
they
as
would
you
be
can
upset.
squash a team while still getting all 6 members involved.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It was going in. It was assumed that that Jade, Bianca, and Naomi was going to win. No one thought that they weren't, and at no point in the match did it look like, oh, they're going to upset us. That said, I believe everything they've done since has been squashing people. I feel like this one is not a squash because it's Kyrie and and Asuka is Asuka at this point. But I still don't believe. I believe like while not a squash, it'll actually be a match, but Jade and Bianca
It's
win.
going to be interesting. Because I like who if it's not a dominating performance, who plays the beat down for the babyface team?
Also
Who
true.
initiates the hot tag
Yeah,
by taking a beating a little bit for a moment in this match? That's the hard thing with putting the belt on this team that you've created. I don't know how it ever gets taken off of them.
I mean, yeah.
If we put the belts on them today, I don't know how it ever gets removed.
I mean, you're not wrong. So, but at the same time, I don't know how you don't put the belts on them today.
Yeah. No, I mean, like
Like,
the crowd would hate it if it was some sort of
yeah, screw
goofy
finish.
DQ finish, like that. That's a damage control TV match,
Yeah,
not a
that
damage
that's
control
uh
pay-per-view match.
that's an old era match, with the other guy in charge. That's what he liked to do.
That's what you'd think, yeah.
Uh
But I you be putting yourself in a like you this team would hold it until the team self-destructed.
yeah. And I think that's the way they lose it. So you can put it on them. And I do think when you mentioned it that like how do you make either of these two like take the beating for the hot tag or whatever, which it would have to be Bianca
Just for
because
because your
Jade is a
natural wrestling script
yeah.
match moment,
But yeah, but when you have a team of little and big, the big is almost always the hot tag.
Yeah.
So it would have to be Bianca. Which I guess if Asuka's doing the beatdown and stuff or helping orchestrate it, you could see that, at least as far as this match goes, because Asuka's on the same tier, at least historically and accomplishment wise. You could
Hmm.
realistically, she could go with anybody, even in story, like
Right.
regardless of what she's up to in current stuff. It's like, oh well, she can beat anybody. Do you remember she was forced to relinquish the NXT Women's Championship because she beat everyone? Triple H came down and said, "I'm sorry, there's no one left. Congratulations, you win wrestling. Now go to the main roster." Like
Yeah. All right. Well,
so, but
we'll
yeah, year of dominance because we got Bianca who had her whole EST long ass reign as SmackDown Women's Champion. We got Black Female Goldberg of AEW. And you combined them.
yeah. It's going to be hard. They will have to we'll have to play out a a breakdown of the team throughout a very long reign, I think is what we're about, which will get both of these very very dominating individuals away from the singles world for a little while
Yeah,
so that other women can have some time,
yeah.
because
So
it's
you could
very
do your
hard to believably.
Yeah, like why aren't they fighting for the title? Well, they're busy. They're distracted with these titles.
Yeah, they have
With
titles right now. They're being a team. Bianca's
yeah,
never been a team before.
yeah,
So yeah, that makes sense. I think that's gonna. Let's bounce back over to the men here. We've got the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. New owner of that El Campeon, Damian Priest is going to be defending it against main event Jay Uso. Omari, who you got, Us?
Priest needs to win this just to help his character. I mean, he held that Money in the Bank thing for like a year. But if you look at that arena and the way it moves, I we talked about it off stream, but Mr. It's Just Me Oos, day one ish. He's got some kind of effect on the fucking crowd. It's one of those things where it just works. So if they capitalize on it, I would not be surprised because the reaction the crowd would have if Oos won that. That said, I think Priest wins, and we do get a classic WWE piss the crowd off finish. The apple ain't gonna fall that far from the tree in how these storylines go. WWE loves a pissed off crowd. They love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see this being the thing that pisses them off before the later main event lifts them back up. So yeah,
Yeah,
Damian wins. Because Judgment
with
Day.
all of these long title reigns, would it
Oh, I'm fine with him having a
would
short
it
reign,
would
but
it
like a
kill
week.
them to bounce it around a little bit?
No, I'm fine with a short
Like
reign for
like for
Damian,
instance,
but
like
it's
we
been like a
just
week.
right, no, I know. I'm not saying particular like I'm saying like we just went through the NXT
Yeah.
lineage off camera when we were chit-chatting and there and similar with World Heavyweight Championship of old. Sometimes you get a pair of dudes and you just let them trade it with about 3 matches. One of them being just a random match on Raw, usually in between it. You know,
Sasha and Charlotte had that kind of thing going on between them. That's how they both racked up so many reigns. Sasha
okay.
couldn't defend her title worth a damn. She would usually lose it on a Raw, but she would beat Charlotte but Charlotte was almost all no, Sasha would win it at a Raw and lose it at the pay-per-view to Charlotte.
So yeah, I mean, I would love that's kind of what I'm maybe hoping. I know there's a lot of wrestling fans that don't really love that. They think it devalues the belt or something. I'm not really a subscriber to that. I'm okay with the belt bouncing around, particularly if it's like one of your championships of 6 championships going right now.
Yeah.
Um, and I kind of want to see both of these guys be champion. And I feel like if they don't give it to Jay now, like this isn't a Cody scenario where it's like,
We
oh
could
yeah,
wait
yeah,
another
we'll
year.
we'll readdress it 3 years from now,
Yeah.
and he'll be hotter than ever. I don't know if that's this. This is just like CM Punk is not here right now. Drew McIntyre is in a non-title scenario right now. Cody Rhodes is on another show. Roman Reigns is at home. I think if there's a moment for Jey Uso to become a champion, even for just a few weeks before he loses it again to Damian Priest in a rematch on Raw,
I'm fine with
I
that.
would love for this to be it.
I'm fine. How long ago was WrestleMania? Was it like 3 weeks ago?
WrestleMania would have been about a full month ago.
Okay, if WrestleMania was a month ago, then Priest has had it a month.
He
And
has not
that's
had a defense, but he has had it for a month.
I don't care if he loses it on his first defense. He has had it a month. It does kind of feel like if they do what you say and it turns into a back and forth between the two, I'm fine with that. But yeah, it's just one of those things like you invested all this time into getting Priest in the main event like picture. Him losing it immediately at first, I was like, but then you just push him back down. But if you turn it into a story because you mentioned no
Yeah.
one's here,
Is there a scenario where Damian Priest gets distracted by the Judgment Day's distraction, loses the belt tonight, and then wins it back as a real match, almost babyface, as the elimination of the Judgment Day. He makes
Yeah.
one final declaration. No, you all are to stay back here. We aren't friends no more. I'm doing this on my own. And then he wins it back.
Yeah, I'm about to say I forgot about that whole Judgment Day angle of them breaking up. So yeah, I could see him losing, like you said, that whole scenario. I like that. It's just me, Oos.
Because ever since WrestleMania, he's been playing it as a tweener.
Uh-huh.
Even
Yeah, he's been
even
getting
maybe
more and more
leaning,
upset with what they do.
even maybe
Typically.
leaning good guy.
Yeah, that's
You
what I'm saying.
know?
He's getting more upset with the usual
Yeah,
tactics.
and like a lot of respect to people when he's talking about him, when he's talking to him, like when he's talking to Jay, his promo leading up to this match was just like, "You're a great dude." Like when we first had a match, I took you out to drinks that night, and I told you that you were way better than I thought you could ever be, and that you're gonna be huge one day, and we're gonna run this joint. Like that's not heel kind of talk, you know? So like I feel like they're wanting to turn him, or maybe just Damian Priest is going into a little bit of business for himself and just not playing it as bad. Because they always say that everybody wants to be a heel until you're not getting the shine of what a champion, what a babyface champion gets. And if you're seeing Cody Rhodes over there just getting the shine of all shines, like I could see you wanting to. I don't know. That's where I'm thinking on that one. We still got two matches to go, so let me push us forward. WWE Women's Championship triple threat match. The WWE champion Bayley defends against one of her IRL best friends and on camera best friends, Naomi. And then also Tiffany Stratton has worked her way into this triple threat WWE championship match. Only about 2.5 months on the main roster, Omari. What do you think here? What's happening with this one?
I know very little about Tiffany Stratton, aside from the fact that everybody likes Tiffany Stratton. And she does like a triple moonsault thing.
She's clean. She's
Yeah.
just she is clean in her moves. She is
Okay.
crisp, kind of it's warranted, praise, I would say.
Gotcha. Well, with me already predicting two title changes, I think this is one of the two titles that stays in its owner's hands because they've got some long term plans going. And yeah, Bayley retains.
Yeah, I want to see Bayley retain here. I will say that Bayley I guess I'm kind of given my own excuse for almost everything potentially flipping. Although I'm picking my formal pick is Bayley to retain, but I will say that Bayley is still actively the longest the she has the record for the longest reigning women's champion in WWE with her uh
SmackDown Championship a while back.
COVID Karen heel work run. Um so I would say
Yeah.
if there's any wrestler in the locker room that would do a favor,
Oh yeah.
I mean, particularly with her IRL best friend in the match, who has one single championship reign. Um
That she got at WrestleMania in her hometown. But
That's true. No. Yeah, but I
Oh,
I would be shocked if Tiffany Stratton is incredible,
I don't think
but
Tiffany's
she's
winning.
early.
Exactly. This is
She's
your
going to she's going to shine in this match, but she's
yeah.
not going to win it.
This is your let's introduce you to a bigger audience type deal. Let's show people what you can really do.
She was in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. Okay. But okay. Well,
Well,
let's continue.
only
Well,
like
you
2
said
weeks
like
onto the main roster.
well, yeah, you were talking. I thought that this was her first day because you were talking like her being here very short. So that's what I was
No,
getting.
she's just been pushed. Like two
Gotcha.
weeks into the main roster, she was in the Elimination Chamber for the number one contendership against Rhea Ripley.
Gotcha.
That and she Australia booed when she was eliminated. They because sometimes there's just those foreign countries that will latch onto a random person, and Australia became Tiffy time.
Gotcha.
at Elimination Chamber. Based on the SmackDown that has already occurred in Lyon, France, Tiffany is not going to be experiencing that warm welcome. France seems to be playing by the rules, and
Okay.
we're going to cheer the good guys and boo the bad guys, and we're
Gotcha.
going to stick to that hard line. Um, but no, she's good. She's good. She's gonna like let's look for maybe a Money in the Bank for her. And then that could then keep her away from the title
Yeah.
for just a little bit longer too. Um,
While being in the picture because Money in the Bank. So
right.
you always have to mention her when the match
And
happens.
a bright pink briefcase, rhinestoned and
Would be cool to
accessorized
have a
in.
custom Money in the Bank case.
All right, one more match on the card, Omari. The undisputed WWE champion, Cody Rhodes, in his second title defense against AJ Styles.
Who you defended against before?
Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown last week.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's where they had the missed
Yep.
spot. Okay. Anyway, Cody wins.
Cody wins. We're
Cody wins. AJ,
not going to do that.
it should be a good match. Because it's AJ Styles. And I mean, it's hard to get a bad match out of AJ
Right.
Styles.
I think that's a foregone conclusion, both of those things. I would say the one question here is, do you think it is just a match? Or do you think in any way this is going to have play-ins, dots connected to Bloodline, Roman Reigns, The Rock, the overall arcing Cody Rhodes
If there's
saga that we still feel like we're in the middle of?
I'm
Or
about to
will this
say
just be a clean
if
title match?
if Cody's not done with the bloodline long run stuff, I could totally see something else coming in. Like let's say the aforementioned shenanigans we were possibly expecting with the solo match. I could see them coming through. You know, as Solo is trying to stake, I want that.
Yeah.
You know, so I could see Solo kind of doing some shit. Yeah, but I don't see because AJ's not in the faction right now. He's just busy being mad at people, if I remember correctly, and just doing his own thing. Like he was mad at LA Knight for
Overarching,
like
not
2 months.
Backlash directly related, but I've been curious. Has Solo Sokoa really declared yet that he is referring to himself? Like he's very clearly and obviously disputing that Roman Reigns is the tribal chief. But has he declared that he's declaring himself the tribal chief, or will we eventually reveal that he is upon orders of the new
Sure,
tribal chief,
the final boss.
the final boss?
Now, that could be, but he is the tribal heir and was declared that by the tribal chief.
That's true.
And the tribal chief ain't here. Solo seems to be in charge. So even if he's not straight up saying I'm the tribal chief, he's taken up his thing. He's taken his role as heir super serious. And he's like, well, if Roman lost and he made a comment about consequences to losing, baby, this is my time. He ain't here anyway. I'm running shit while I'm here. And when I'm here, I'm gonna get the bloodline respect back on their name. I can't lose no more. Realistically, he's like, because if he really wanted to think about it, he ain't done nothing but lose since he beat Cena.
47-0.
0-47?
Or yeah, and
Yeah,
47. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. From the moment backward of him saying losing has consequences, his last 47 matches in a row he had lost.
So yeah, that's another reason why he needs to win tonight because he thought about losing against consequences, and eventually someone's gonna point that out to him. That he's done nothing but lose. for the last like year. So I feel like this is where he starts turning around and trying to reestablish himself as face of the
I mean,
bloodline.
Randy has yet to take a pin in his return
I
in Survivor
and
Series.
I still don't think he will. It's Randy.
You think Kevin,
Yeah.
you think, well, I'm just saying, if you really wanted to say something about Solo Sikoa, then Solo Sikoa spikes Randy Orton
Okay.
and pins him clean.
That's fine too. I'm fine with that as well. I thought you
I
were
don't
just
think
saying
that will
more.
happen.
I
I'm
thought you
just
were just
saying if
saying more
that's
like they're gonna win because Randy ain't the loss yet. I'm like, well, he did, even if he doesn't tonight, Kevin will take that pin.
oh yeah,
But
Kevin will
but
eat.
yeah, I agree. I agree. I yeah. I agree though that if what you call it, dude,
Tamatanga,
no,
Jacob
Solo.
Fatu,
If
Solo
Solo
Sikoa.
wants to be established as the best, they make the biggest way to do that is
Biggest
spike
statement, yeah.
Randy because you killed Cena and Randy. You may not kill nobody else. You killed Cena and Randy.
That's yeah. Don't even do a single spike. Yeah, like that's a good thought. Like he did with Cena, just like bah, bah, bah,
Yeah.
until you murder him. Wrestling story wise. Um, that yeah, that would be the angle that I would prefer to go. All right, well, we've given our thoughts on WWE Backlash going on in Lyon, France, basically right now as we speak. If you want to hop over to wherever that goes, I don't know. Um, Omari, anything else? Sports
Ah,
week.
Sports week, that's about it. We also got XFL games watching this week, or UFL games
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on
yeah.
this weekend. Anyway, but that's all we got for sports this week. If you
Where
want to
else
see
can they
some of
find you on the internet?
if you want to see some of our other stuff, you can watch other stuff on this channel. We got a show called This Guy Hasn't Seen. We trade stuff back and forth, usually, movies, TV shows, that kind of things. I also have a show on Twitter called the Whatever We Want podcast with a good friend of mine, good friend of the show, Super Jazz. So
Super Jazz.
thank you very much, as nature intended. It's on a bit of a hiatus, but it will be back eventually. Still almost 200 episodes. That's like 150 or 180 episodes out there. You can go back and watch. I also have a Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi, Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Phil, anything else you want to say to the folks?
No.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next week.